Just imagine. No technical difficulties. And away we go.
You're listening to Squatch Talks Podcast. Real stories and real encounters told by real researchers. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
And welcome to Squatch Talks Podcast live stream. Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Awesome. Now we got our technical difficulties worked out. So that's a start. Woo.
Yeah, I'll have to do some calling tomorrow to
Well,
Comcast.
and this is exactly why we're doing it tonight as a kind of a little warm up and a prep, so that on Saturday night, right, we want to go live on YouTube and set it up so we can have people actually join us on the conversation, ask their questions. They can tell us about encounters if they want, if they have any stories they'd like to share, right?
That's right.
That's why we're here. So hey, welcome to the live stream prep episode. And we're not going to be long. Nathan's got to get up early, so
Stupid weather.
hey, it is what it is. 'Tis the season, right?
No. It'd be a lot better if it would snow in the summer and it wouldn't be so cold.
Right? That'd be nice, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Cool things off a bit.
Right.
But hey, I got out on Monday, did a lot of scouting out in the forest with Art.
Yeah, how's Art?
He's okay. Yeah,
Good.
doing okay. I took him to all our favorite haunts, and who knows, maybe we'll incorporate some of them on the Pine Barrens expedition in June.
Very good. Very
But
good.
one thing, of course, I'm doing is going to have hopefully access to this private land, which is going to really be awesome, virgin territory as it is. So, but yeah, we took a few hikes and got out and there was some, grading done to some of the roads, which we found very interesting. You remember Devil's Hairbrush? You remember us talking about Devil's Hairbrush?
Yeah.
I know Brian saw it. They actually opened up that road. It used to be blocked off.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't really get through it unless you had like an ATV. They graded it. They got rid of the beaver dams. We were actually able to drive down the whole stretch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Poor beavers.
Yeah. Well, they're still there. In a month, it'll be all screwed up again. Believe me, those beavers are hard at work. But it was pretty cool to get out there again and see it in that state, because usually in the past we'd have to walk on the beaver dam to get down to the bridge.
Okay.
And so the bridge was like actually partially taken apart. I don't know if that was done by the state or vandals, but yeah, the metal was just hanging there, the metal guardrail.
Yeah.
And one of the braces was like not even attached to the bridge. Art's like, hey, you want some scrap metal? So I tried doing a couple of bangs on the metal, like Mike Aragona did up in PA. And it's funny too, because I took Art to the spot that Andy had his first encounter with the samurai chatter.
Okay.
Or him and Willow, right? So I set up a game camera and I hung a carcass from the turkey feast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's out there right now, and hopefully getting some images for us. And after I fell in the water and with my boot, got done, setting that up. I went to go fly the drone, had everything ready, and I went, where's the controller? Art's like, didn't I tell you to make a checklist? I'm like, yeah, and I thought that was for expeditions. So yeah, it's kind of tough to fly the drone without the controller,
Yeah, that'll slow you down every time.
That really sucked, but what are you gonna do? So we just headed on to the next spot, But hey, it's great to get out, that's for sure. Have been a week since I've been out, And I wanted to take advantage of the full moon this week because that would have been nice, but it was weather-wise cloudy and rainy,
Right.
I was informed there was a meteor shower though last night or something, and I didn't even know about it.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah. But it would have been too cold anyway, But enough about me. How you doing, Nathan?
I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay. Better and better.
If you don't talk about bad things, they go away, right?
Well, you can't stick your head in the sand forever, Sometimes talking about things helps get it off our chest, and then we can let it go.
Well, I feel like I've been sticking my hand in cement today, not sand.
Oh man, that sucks. Well, here's to you, brother. It'll get better. I'll think about you. But hey, I hope our viewers are doing better than we are.
Yeah, I hope so.
I didn't even see if we're actually on. That's how good
Yes,
I am.
I have internet at the house. It's hard for me to do that now.
Yes. Apparently, it's broadcasting, so that's a good thing.
But nobody's watching.
That's the step in the right direction.
That's right.
Okay. Well, hey, whether anyone watches this or not, at least it gives us the practice to get this right for Saturday night. And that's the goal. So,
yeah, what they have to do is if somebody wants to email and talk to us now, they'd have to email Squatch Talks and you'd send them a link, right?
that's correct. Squatch Talks Podcast at gmail.com. And if they do want to jump on with us, send me the email. That would involve me checking the email.
Yeah.
Well, gotta bring that up.
Well, is anybody watching that they're gonna try it? Come on, somebody give us a test run.
Yeah, right. Give us a test run. Hang on. Well, I know that Matt posted something today about an article that was written, I guess, on the History Channel's website. Yeah. And he was kind of, going off on the individual who wrote it.
Who was?
Joe or John Blubla, his name is Blubla or something. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Apparently, he's written a book, which is about 300 pages long, on talks about a little bit of the history going back, even predating the 50s, because everybody talks about how the origin of the word Bigfoot came about from Jerry Crew's photo in the Humboldt County Times, right? Which is what we talked about in the episode, Is the Proof Out There, right? With Art. Mm-hmm. But apparently Todd Prescott joined in on the conversation, and I learned something new. The loggers in Northern California and Oregon, Washington area, they were talking about Bigfoot prior to that.
When they called it Bigfoot?
They called it Bigfoot. Yeah. Okay. I never knew that.
Yeah.
So, that was interesting. You learn something new every day. See that?
Whether you want to or not.
Never too old to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we are really excited to do it. We gotta get, we're plagiarizing here. I'm not gonna lie. I took the idea from Dixie Cryptid, right? We were guests on one of his live streams.
Yeah, it's fun. I hope people do it because it is a good time.
It is fun. Well, Dixie's got 155,000 subs, I think. So
also it's less fun with us. That's all. It's just smaller fun. It's more concentrated into more important viewers. That's what it is.
A more intimate type gathering. Yes. Yeah. But hey, you know what? For less than 1 year, right? Come on. Mm-hmm. Less than 1 year. We're at like 11 months right now.
320.
That's where we're at. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's just on YouTube. Oh, the other one.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, I don't know. I did a reel the other day when Art and I were out. I took a reel of the babbling brook under this bridge that was washed out and all dilapidated. I said to Art, I said, I don't think I could drive my truck over that. He says, no, you don't want to drive your truck over it. But we walked across it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever's viewing,
And,
email to Squatch Talks Podcast and see if you can come on and chat with us. Whoever's viewing, email to Squatch Talks Podcast. It's Scott Ward. He's got to come on. Come on, Scott. No yawning, he said.
Hey, Scott Ward, would you like to come on?
Yep, he said okay. He's coming on.
Cool. Well, I need his email.
Yeah. Email the email to the email.
Email to the email squared.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
He's
find
trying.
it. All right, cool.
Well, you can't email him and text me at the same time. That's probably not going to happen. But I haven't talked to him for a while. I'll have to get Terry in here to say hi.
That'd be lovely.
Hold on. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay. Well, don't go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm trying to do this.
I'll hold up the show while you're doing that.
Yeah,
So,
I'm touching my screen, so don't look at it.
just letting everybody know, our friends at Black Rifle Coffee Company keeping us supercharged for these live chats.
There, I sent it to you. I text it to your texty text.
Oh, you texted it to me. Hey, even better. Yeah, okay, that'll work.
Yeah, just because it came on the phone doesn't mean you have to use the phone.
Ah.
We're getting good at this.
So funny. Ah, shit.
Hey, you got to look at it this way. You can't do it wrong if you don't know what you're doing.
Uh-huh. Well, the other thing is I'm partially blind here, so
That's my excuse.
and I'm sticking with it. Oh man, see that? I must push the wrong button. Oh, it's in my computer.
From the phone, and all you had to use was your fingers.
All right, so I'm emailing Scott the invite.
And he's going to click on the link.
If he's going to use his laptop, that's one thing. But if he's going to use his phone, I would hope he would do it horizontally instead of vertically. Awesome, perfect. Well, that's cool, man. See that? This is going to be a great way for us to check this out and see if we can actually get this to work. Thank you, Scott. That's awesome.
He didn't get anything yet, he said.
Are you serious?
I am.
I sent the right.
And he's going, why can't I get on?
It says message sent. Message sent. All right. Hey, if we stay on long enough, somebody else might join.
You never know.
You never know. Oh, actually, I don't have to refresh my screen.
That probably would be bad.
Well, if I did it here, yeah, it would be real bad. It's all right. Like I said, we should be able to do this. This is a test.
Well, yes, I'm already failing a test because my internet sucks.
Wow.
Stupid Comcast. Comcast is not a sponsor.
No, but neither is Verizon. They both suck. Yeah, no, man, it's
But hey, but at least they're both expensive.
it's great when it works.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
speaking of working, Nathan's got to work tomorrow.
I do. I have to be at work at 5 a.m. Means I have to leave my house at 4:30 a.m. I have to add the a.m. just to make it sound worse.
So we're going to have a guest on with us, Scott, who has been on a number of our expeditions.
Yep.
Really interesting guy. Super guy. Even came over and hung out for the day when I was laid up with my back surgery. How cool is that?
Yeah.
He's in the dark, though.
He's in the dark.
He's squatching.
I don't see him yet.
Hey.
Ta-da!
How you doing?
You don't see me?
I do.
There
now.
you are.
Okay.
Yeah, see that? I got more hair and you got less.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
I didn't think I was going to be a special guest on any given Thursday night.
But hey, what better special guest?
Right.
I appreciate you checking us out over the past 10 months or 11 months, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's coming up on a year.
Almost. So how you been?
I can't complain. It's been a while.
We're good.
So let me try again. I'm thrilled to be a special guest on not a Thursday but a Wednesday, which is almost as good.
Cool.
Yeah,
It's not as close to Friday.
right.
Well, we're happy to have you. So thanks
Thank you.
for
Thank
checking us out.
Thank you.
Have you been keeping busy?
I'm keeping busy. I'm delivering seasonal packages for UPS right now.
Nice.
Um,
That keeps you busy. Yeah.
it sure does. Sure does.
Uh-huh.
I can chime in on some of my latest, when I say latest, I mean summer into fall
Mhm.
Squatch stuff. You want to hear it?
Absolutely. Love to.
Okay. So my property in New York, I've been building like a camp up there, and I've spent a lot of the summer up there. And the only thing that really struck me as odd in one of my visits was I had gotten there, I'd probably been missing about a week, and I got up onto my platform, and here and there I started to find simple strands of hair.
Oh,
I found 2 pieces of hair in a come along. I had set up a come along winching like some webbing and straps across. It's just like a safety thing. And there was hair in the ratchet.
wow.
And so if I knew that I was going to keep finding strands of hair, I would have taken it more seriously. It was probably, at the end of the day, it was probably like porcupine guard hairs or something like that. But here's something that was very unique about it. Although it was thicker than human hair, it was probably, on average, they were probably 6 to 8 inches long, but at the ends were split. Almost like when someone has long hair and they run a brush through it, the hair that comes out are the split ends and the stuff that's dead.
Wow.
Right.
And that was kind of human-like, besides its thickness. Like, you can't twirl a piece of human hair between your fingers. This is too fine.
Interesting.
This hair was just a step over that. It was just enough to where you could actually feel like you had a piece or two between your fingers. And I wish to God, and I know you can't put it in a plastic bag. I probably found more than 6 on the deck and the platform and in a bucket. It was just around. It was just, I was just starting to find it. And if I knew it was going to be like that, I would have paid closer attention and put it in a paper bag or something like that. But,
And this was in August, September, you said?
yeah. Yep.
Interesting. But
Um,
that split end thing you're talking about, that kind of indicates it's from something that doesn't cut their hair, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I
Wow.
mean, again, even if it was a teenage kid's hair, it was thicker than that.
Mhm.
Right.
It was thicker than so I just I thought about that off and on for the
So
rest of the weekend, and then it just passed.
You didn't save any, you're saying, right?
No.
No. Okay. Well, hey, if by chance you come across
Right.
them in the future, maybe a paper, envelope, or even a
Right.
piece of paper folded up just to preserve them,
Right.
that would be cool. It's funny because I just talked to Art on Monday. He came by and we went out. I was presented a couple of days earlier with some hair from northern New Jersey from an expedition that Larry did. Okay. And it's dark, coarse, blackish colored hair. But there's like wispy hair, and there's some that looks more like curly and almost like pubic hair, I guess you could
Right.
say. So I was, presented with this in the hopes that maybe I can, forward it on to somebody who could analyze it. And one of the traits, of course, we've heard with Bigfoot hair is that it doesn't have the medulla inside the shaft.
Right.
So Art's going to give me a microscope that he has. So at least I can check that out before I
Send it
invest
off.
any time, right, and send it off. But
Right.
that'd be cool to look at. Wow.
It just refreshed my memory because I recently watched, I know people laugh at small town monsters, but these dudes had interviewed this family that lives in Colorado.
Mhm.
And apparently there was banging on the cabin and this and that. And then there was this frequent bang at night. Nobody could identify it until one of the family members who would lift up this heavy lid to get chicken eggs out of the coop had let it fall. And somebody else in the family goes, "That's the bang. That's the bang."
Dude, that's
I don't
like,
know if you guys had seen that episode, but there was
haven't.
a couple of hairs in that episode. I'm like, "Oh, I found hair."
does that not remind you of the New York expedition where we kept hearing wood knocks coming from the hillside above base camp?
Right, at Brian's.
You
right.
remember what the culprit was?
No.
The front door closing of the house.
Is that
And
right?
it was Terry who
Is that right?
determined to be that.
Oh, I don't remember that.
That's
Yeah.
why we made her an
Yeah.
investigator next time.
Oh.
She earned her investigator stripes on that one, huh?
Was that this past year? Because I wasn't at that one.
That was
That was the
2020.
first-
New York
Okay.
2020.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I went to the two in the same year. I went to yours and Brian's in the same year.
Right.
And then I did PA with Delwyn. It was last year.
But Brian did too. So it was the first New York expedition because Nathan and Terry were on that one. And I thought that
Yeah.
was the one that you were on as well with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So that was the thing. Everybody's like, wow, did you hear that knock?
Oh, I don't remember that.
It was the stupid front door that Kevin and I were staying in that house for a couple of days. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's funny.
Good investigative
What
work
you're
there
saying
on her
is they were
part.
opening the egg, the chicken hutch, and letting it drop. Huh? You think they were stealing eggs too?
Yeah. Yeah. I just, I found it on YouTube, and every once in a while I find something that I haven't seen 10 times before. And so I watched these guys, and they went up into not the San Juans, it was Breckenridge, Pikes Peak area. And they went out and spent a couple of days with a family in a remote ranch. They got horses and chickens and the whole thing. And the dogs will go silent, and there's rock throwing, and there's, banging on the sides of the house. And
Oh wow.
yeah, they've had, it was an interesting episode.
I just said that to somebody yesterday, one of my customers. I was like, I'm not sure I want a habituation because, you start leaving food out, right? And then the next thing, you don't leave food out that day and they come up and smack the house, right?
And then eat your dog,
And
right?
eat your dog, yeah. That's the part I don't think I would enjoy,
No, no,
But
absolutely not.
I don't laugh at Seth. I think Seth and his wife is Kate. I forget her name, but I think they do a great job, I
Right,
really do. He's got a lot of different shows and they continue to put out good material,
right.
He's my inspiration. I watch a lot of his stuff to gain better, ways of filming and how to edit,
Yeah,
Small Town Monsters.
right.
In fact, Squatch Talks podcast follows them on YouTube.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah.
I've only seen two. The first one I saw, these guys were at the Kenai Peninsula in Alaska, and they walk through the story of this guy who's building, lifelong dream is to build this cabin on the water, and blah blah blah, and all the stone throwing and the wood knocking, and this was interesting. Did anybody see that episode?
I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One thing that was very interesting is once the cabin was up, the guy jokes his wife wouldn't come out until the cabin was up. So the wife would have ladies out there, and the outhouse or whatever it was they had as a makeshift can up on the hill, the gals would go up there and they would come back and they're like, there's a baby crying. There's a baby crying in the woods. And, the Squatch thing is always, and the idea is that, only the women folk in this camp over course of a summer had ever heard the crying baby noises.
Now, isn't that what they said they used to do to the Native Americans? They'd make the baby cry and lure them away and then keep them.
Right. And maybe I thought that was an interesting point that they brought up, but maybe that's why the guys don't hear that noise, because
We're not as
Well,
in tune.
maybe women are more likely to go wandering off to try to find.
they're more tuned for that type of sound. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
If I hear a crying baby in any patch of woods, I'm running the other way. I'm just not cut from that cloth. I'm out of there.
Yeah,
the only time I ever heard a baby crying in the woods, we were in Maryland with I was with Charles and Goodrin. We were scouting for the expedition we had in Maryland there, and we could not figure out what it was. We couldn't find it. It sounded like a baby crying.
Wow.
And we went back to the cave. It was like 3:00 in the morning, and we were on a bridge. So we went back, and nobody could sleep. Everybody kept Googling this baby crying in the woods. And finally, one of us came up with it. I think we all found it at the same time. It was a beaver.
Is that right?
Yeah, beavers make that sound. It sounds just like a baby crying.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to say, couldn't it be a fawn, a baby deer? They too make like
They make more of a bleat sound,
a bleating sound. Yeah.
But this, if you YouTube or Google that up, baby beaver crying, it sounds just like a freaking baby. I mean, just like a baby.
That's
Wow.
freaky.
Yeah, it is actually extremely creepy.
I've heard
We did hear that was the same night we heard like a 300-pound rooster crow too. Though. So we were pretty sure that wasn't a rooster. But.
Yeah.
I said, son. Hey, having Scott on, I want to ask this question because Dr. Russ Jones posted something on, I think it was West Virginia's page the other day, and posted a picture of what looked like a teepee, at least a beginning of a teepee formation, right? And was questioning, like, are these really worth looking at all? Basically, you see so many of them posted nowadays, okay, on social media.
Right.
And he's like, you don't really hear stories about this from Native Americans in their oral history,
Right.
And so I said, well, they didn't really have they didn't have a written history. It was more of an oral tradition passed down through the generations.
Right.
How do you know they didn't talk about it? Plus, Nathan and I have discussed this, how they used trees where they would bend young trees into directional type markers, right? What do they call them? There's a term where you can sit on them or something. I forget. But yeah, I've come across these trees where they're like this, and then they go over and then back down again. And typically, if you follow the direction that it's aiming towards, you're going to find water, right?
Usually.
So we had a little bit of a discussion on this post about, is there legitimacy behind what we consider tree manipulations, the X's, the arches, the TPs, things like that, and are they really indications of some kind of communication or directional markers or whatever the case may be? And I said, well, again, I haven't really discussed this with local New Jersey tribe members, you know what I mean? And so I really haven't heard them speak of this. I couldn't say for sure. You mentioned frontiersmen and historically, outdoorsmen in the past also don't make mention of these things. So if they're so rare, why is it that it's so common today? You know what I mean? That was his point.
Right.
Have you I know, Scott, you do a lot of, Native American type interactions. Do you have any opinion to offer on that?
Well, I can say that the nomadic peoples of the plains and the prairies and even the front range of the Rockies used teepee style structures because that's where lodgepole pine lives. We don't really have trees that are really what's the word, like indicative of making teepees. Here in the East, there was a lot of hoop houses, there were wigwams, there were more, dome style structures.
Right.
And I don't think the people here were as nomadic as they were on the high plains because they followed the herds. They were literally following, bison, pronghorn herds, I don't really think they did that much in the East. Because there was a time they said that, well, when the settlers came here, a squirrel could climb a tree in Maine and come down in Florida. That's
Right.
how thickly forested it was, you know.
Right.
So I don't know how much migratory stuff there was. As far as, I mean, if I had a dime for every teepee style structure I started in the middle of nowhere as a kid, and then either got grounded or had to go to something come up, and then leaving half built things, you know. And I mean, you know, it's hard to say. I mean, that's a whole other world that I really wish I was more acquainted with, is being able to read what's natural, because I've seen trees do stuff that really defy wind, weight, gravity. I mean, I've sat there, scratched my head like, how is that?
Right.
Now, so I don't know. For me, there's just too many variables, even where perfectly healthy trees. I don't know. But as far as the teepee thing, I'll share a quick story. When I got my property in 2014, right, I started, I had bulldozers come in and I started a driveway. And then as I started camping up there more and more, one of my only hemlocks down by the driveway was snapped. And it turns out, and I noticed it immediately because it's the only hemlock in there. There's some blueberry and some gray and black birch. I noticed it right away. I went further up the hill on top of a rock ledge, and I actually made a teepee style tripod, and then filled it in with a bunch of, you know, dead wood, and I wrapped it with a tarp. And wouldn't you know it, shortly after that, another hemlock was snapped in half. I was going to try to send pictures of it recently to Moneymaker's site there, and the pictures just come out like crap. I mean, they're old now. So the tree still lives, but the part that is snapped is still, they were both facing the road. That's one thing that was interesting. They were both perfectly healthy hemlocks that may have been, I don't know, looking at my living room, they may have been 12 feet tall.
Okay.
You know, they're still alive, but the parts that were broken in half were both broken towards the road, and they're old, you know, they're just old and dead now. So that was one thing that raised my attention.
Are the trees in line too?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Well, I know Matt in the past was not a big believer in tree manipulations, and only more recently has he become more, you know, open to discussing it, right?
Right.
But one thing I was going to say in regards to like questioning, like Dr. Russ did, about why don't Native Americans have that in their oral tradition? It's like, well, who learned it from who? You know what I mean? Did Sasquatch observe the native peoples doing it, or vice versa? Right.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, again, there's so much that happens naturally in the woods that being able to spot something that is a solid manipulation, you know, ruling out people, such as turning them over, like in they have in BC, like Brian talks about, like, well, root ball. It's brought up. That's hard to deny.
That's very hard to deny, for sure. And I had a birch tree that was literally just like a U, like twisted and pushed back down into the ground. And that's kind of odd. Okay.
Right.
So Russ had said on this particular thread, hey, if anybody has any, you know, photos that can show me otherwise, right? And I said, well, I've come across some things that I just can't say were totally just made by natural causes. And I included about, you know, a handful of pictures, some from British Columbia, some from, you know, New Jersey and PA. And he said, very interesting. You know, I mean, they're just not your usual snow loading or wind breaks, you know what I mean? And the intricacy and the complexity of these structures is just, to me, it makes you really question it, you know?
Right.
One of the coolest things I ever saw, talking about that kind of stuff, because I'm not real big on tree structures either. I don't, because like you said, there's too many things that could be.
Mhm.
And most of the time it's small enough that it could be human anyway. But the one thing we saw up at Brian's in New York, it was after the expedition. We went back up scouting like a couple weeks later or whatever, because he found that area behind where we were camping in the woods.
Mhm.
And we went back there and it was real thick and we were all walking around, and I walked up to one trail, and across the trail, the long, it wasn't picker bush, it was something else but it was all long and spindly. It was actually tied together in a square knot across the trail, almost like it was something was standing there playing with it, and it was tied into almost a square knot. It was weird. I'm not saying somebody wasn't standing there doing it, but it wasn't any of us.
Right.
And it was at a weird spot that, it wasn't really like near a trail. It was just odd.
Right.
Remember, it was right near what we made the gifting tree.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
It was back in there.
on Brian's expedition. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just brought up a picture. You know what? If you'll humor me for a second, I just want to show one thing that I came across early in my travels. Okay, can you see that? Those are
Yep.
two saplings that were twisted off about, I don't know, about 1.5 feet off the ground on a trail that hadn't been really used in quite a long time. And the two saplings were laid off to the side, right? No heavy equipment nearby. I mean, they're about 2 inches in diameter. It would be difficult, I would think, for a human to do that. But that
Right.
was just twisted off. And the two trees were laying on the side of the trail. I mean, that's really strange, right?
That is strange. I mean, I don't know if it was an oak, but I can see that there's sapling oaks around it.
There are, yeah, I think they're red oaks, or I can't tell from the leaves, but just one of the ones that I have that I just found really odd,
Right.
And on that same day, on that hike, I came down to the stream and I noticed some juvenile tracks in the bank of the stream. Well, let me stop sharing because somebody just showed up, a special guest as well.
Special
Hey.
guest. Hey, Terry, how are you?
How's
Good. Good to see you.
it going? Looking good?
Thanks. How are you?
Yeah, to like freshen up real quick.
And we're pleased to have Nathan's wife, Terry, join us. She's also an investigator and love to have her on. Thank you.
Yeah. What's going on?
I just I was scrolling through Facebook and saw that if I was not sleeping on the couch by 8 o'clock, I was definitely going to commit to logging on. And it took us a few minutes to work out those kinks, but yeah.
Well, Scott, this means that Nathan just stepped out.
Which
So
means
thank you, Nathan.
he's in the bathroom.
He's got to get up at 4 a.m. So he was telling me he didn't want to be on too long, but now, Terry was more than willing to jump in. Thank you.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Any plans for 23 or
What?
really too early to tell?
Any plans for 23? He said.
Any plans? No, not right away.
Any resolutions?
Yeah, no, nothing that I want to commit to.
Right.
Did you say you wanted to co-organize PA with me?
Well, I've been doing some research. I found a couple places we can check out, maybe go
Awesome.
camping
Mhm.
from early spring.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's what I want to
Yeah.
hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think I found a couple neat places. Now it's remote, of course, so there's
Mhm.
nothing really around. So remote camping.
Even better. I've already got a
know.
couple of attendees signed on, so hey, that's
Okay.
good news. Good news.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been slowly researching and doing a little bit of that. So
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
yeah. So we'll have to plan a camping trip. Early
Yeah.
spring, maybe.
Yeah. How's
Definitely.
that baby?
Oh, he's doing good.
Super
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, he's getting big. He'll be 1 in January.
Oh,
We
wow.
do have a first birthday party coming up.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
that's exciting. Well, hey, I have to say this was an awesome way to test out our equipment. So I appreciate you jumping on, Scott, because we're hoping we have some interest on Saturday night if I keep, plugging it along the way.
Right.
And
Right.
we get a couple of people that want to come on and share their experiences with us. Did you have anything else though that you would like to? I mean, you said you were doing some stuff in the fall and the summer months. Anything else exciting on your end?
Not on my end, really,
No?
just taking it a season at a time right now. I see that Mike Young has something lined up for Connecticut. I'm not sure if there was a start date or not, but
Yes, he does.
I don't know that I can commit to. I'm not sure I've even seen a timeline yet, but I do go back on the BFRO site once in a while to look at the updates. But
Well, just so you know, September is when we're doing the Pennsylvania one.
right.
So it gives you
Right.
some time to
Just throwing it out there.
actually,
Is
Matt
it back in Furnace Brook or wherever that was, or was it Furnace Brook?
no, but we don't tell
Oh,
exact
that's right.
locations though. when we're-
You never know who's listening.
However, no, but originally it was supposed to be earlier
You're
in the
wrong
month.
anyway, so.
Yeah,
Oh.
it didn't matter, but I think it's towards the end of September now. I don't even know my dates, but yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, September, perfect time,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I look forward to it.
Cool. Well, we look forward to getting.
Yeah, we don't have the camper anymore, Scott, so.
Oh,
Eric
no.
has it.
Yeah.
I
Eric
got
has
it.
Is that right?
Warmer. That's cold.
And I'm hoping to have it camper ready by September. So
Right.
yeah, there's some flooring issues that have to be addressed, and some
Right.
plumbing, but
Right.
I thank
Bump
you.
up the tires, get a new set of bearing buddies, and off you go.
Exactly. And a hitch adapter. My hitch isn't set right to connect, but Nathan's gonna
Oh.
help me with that. He's good.
Right.
And Art actually used to build custom vans, so apparently he's got a thing or two that he knows. So
Huh.
it's way out of my league.
Right.
But Nathan, I know you're tired, right?
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
I knew you were gonna. I thought you already stepped out. I was gonna say, well, thanks for squatching.
Hey,
Well,
good to see you.
I'll let you do that.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on there, Scott. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, right.
Thanks.
You look good.
Thanks. Good to see you guys.
And hey, Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Scott.
And hopefully we'll get together soon.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So just real quick for our viewers, if you're watching, Yeti Bars is having their sale for the Christmas holidays. If you get your order in by the 18th, it will ship in time for you Yetis to get it by Christmas. Okay. They're offering 10%. And if you add code STP10 at checkout, you get an additional 10% off. So that's 20% off your order and free shipping over $70. Right, Nate?
75.
No, it's 70
Sweet.
right now.
Oh, they lowered it to 70. There you
So-
go.
I've got mine.
Nice.
I'm using the Dixie Cryptid Bar currently. And according to Heather, I smell pretty good. So, hey, soon we'll have the Squatch Talks podcast bar. That's key.
That's right.
And we want to thank friends at BRCC for supercharging us. And last but not least, Lake's Coffee is going to take over as that sponsor because I talked to the owner today and we're going to get together right after New Year's and we're going to get our own unique flavor ready to go. Okay? So I'm squatching brew.
That's right.
Put hair on your chest.
So once again, we want to thank Scott for jumping on from New York and good to have you. And Terry,
Thanks so much.
as always, lovely. Thank you. And
Yeah.
and for Nathan, you get some rest. Okay, we want to keep you in good health. So
That's right. All right. Hey, thanks for squatching.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you
Have
too.
a good holiday.
I didn't do any adjustments. I'm sorry. I I went upstairs to hang out with Heather for a minute. She distracted me.
Having trouble getting a green shirt. Apparently everybody loves that green shirt.
It's a nice shirt. I like my black shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know the plan.
No.
Like Dixie did with us, where he had, people on the live stream
Mm-hmm.
who wanted to get on and say something or ask a question or tell an encounter. You know what I mean? I think we can manage to do it with my limited resources. That's about to change. No, I'm gonna do a half hour. We'll do a half hour and say adios. Anyway, I put a Yeti bar up here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. Like seriously? Like what the hell? So that was encouraging.
Yeah, there you go. A little good news once in a while never hurts.
Never hurts. Got a
It
compliment
sucks.
on the shirts today. Somebody who came in and saw them. I said, "Hey, what I got to do to get some coffee? Huh? I got to come over and see Jesse." I said, "Have a sit down." So yeah, after New Year's, we are going to get together. I said, "I'll come over there and we can sit down and get it, finalized."
Right.
So I'm using the original tonight. But I got my espresso cream too.
Oh, crap.
I almost knocked over my light. Shit. I'm trying to remember when we go live if it reverses the image. Good to know these things before you go on, So tonight we're going to be on Facebook though, okay? And then on Saturday night we'll go live on YouTube.
Okay.
On mine, I'm on the right and you're on the left.
That's right.
Do whatever you want.
And now you're on the right of my screen. I just
Mhm.
moved it over, okay? And I'm on the left. Make sense?
No.
Yes. That is correct. Then you won't see Squatchy, so I'll sit like this. How's that? That good? You can really see the shirts. Nice. Did you freeze up on me? You did freeze up on me.
Freaking internet.
I'm sitting here talking. I'm like, are you frozen again? I'll just sip my Squatch Talks coffee. Hey, don't do that again. Again, this is blooper material.
It's going to suck if it keeps doing that.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, brother. You there? It's gonna keep doing it. You look good.
Whatever. I can't. Yeah. I
you can
can't see it. Anyway.
Oh, you can't see anyway. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a breath. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. I'm freaking technology challenged, my friend. Sorry, Nate. You're gonna have to stay on a little longer.
Yeah. I'll just tap out and let Terry come in.
Right?
Or Wednesday
Yes,
night.
And it's only Wednesday, so
Yeah.
well, no, we're happy to have you come on. Like I said to Nathan, we're trying to get this kind of, to get the bugs out so that on Saturday when we actually try to do it on YouTube, we kind of have it, just right.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Squatch Talks Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and give us a like, and stay tuned for more exciting stories on Squatch Talks.